It's no big
Okay.
deal. Facebook, hi. It's me, Linda Marcus Smith, with her glasses on. I'll take them off as soon as I read my guest introduction today. This is interview number 935. Sorry, Patrice, you're not my first.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Every time I get on here, I'm doing it for you guys at home, you guys in the chat. Come on in, have a seat. I don't care if you have your clothes on or not. Just don't tell me. It's a hard visual to get out of my head. So what I'm doing right now is making sure that I have not been Zuckerberg. I want to make sure we're really going live, and we are. And I'm gonna turn down the volume and look for any messages. So if you want to say something to my guest or ask me a question to ask her, type it in the chat, folks. A lot of times nobody's in the chat. I get it. But you can type the questions afterward and I'll send them to Patrice and she'll answer them. You know, we're humans. We are not above caring about you. This whole thing, Comic Spot, was created so you can get to know comedians off stage. See if you like them. You don't know if you're going to like Patrice. You have to come here to find out. How else are you going to find out if you like her? She goes by Treece, Patrice. You know, you want to know why. You got to find these things out, folks. That's why I have Comic Spot, just for you. So take advantage of it. I have two sponsors, you guys. I have the Veterans of Comedy, was started by Willie Clifton, and Eric Knowles. They go around the world doing comedy for military and veterans, my passion. And I'm a proud member. So what I'm trying to say is next time you want to hire somebody to do comedy at your venue, small or large, and you want to, I don't know, lose your mind and hire somebody who used to defend our country, who's now defending their right to freedom of speech, go to veteransofcomedy.com, look through all the comedians and pick me up. All right, pick any one of us, whatever. My other sponsor is Living Water. Let me show you a bottle. 1 second. You got to see this. This is the water. It looks like Dasani or any other bottle of water, but they're doing amazing things. I don't know specifically what they're doing. I just know, go read about it yourself. I hate to read. But they're my sponsor and they don't care if I read it. They just want me to hold up the bottle. So we're a good fit. All righty. So much for the goofiness. Today, we have an amazing guest for you to get to know. I threatened for you to get to know her a minute ago. Now comes the true test. Let's see if you like her. Comedian artist Treece, aka Patrice Harris, is happy to announce the On Deck Cancer Comedy Tour. That's right, you heard it. On Deck Cancer Comedy Tour. Just like we have come to celebrate a new life with preparation, celebration, and acceptance, she invites you on a celebration of freedom, empowerment, faith, fun, food, and funny. So how do you turn what most would feel as a tragedy into a tool of fun and beauty? She says she doesn't know, but it's happening to her. So let's hear her out. Let's get to know all about Patrice Harris, aka Treece. OMG, Treece. Woo!
Hey,
Hi.
what's going on, Linda? How are you? How's everybody today?
Everybody's good, man. They're all here by the droves. Okay, maybe not yet.
Feel it.
How are you?
You know, I am doing amazingly awesome. I don't know whether I'm a alien. I like to believe I'm just a spirit-filled person. So I am feeling the best I've ever felt at the height of my game. So There you go.
That's fabulous. Oh my gosh. Mark Andrew Chacon is watching. Say hi to Mark Andrew.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I don't know if you know him. He's a Vegas comedian and does a podcast,
Nice.
and maybe he'll have you on his podcast.
There you go. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Well, you said in your intro something about having cancer and going on a tour anyway.
Well, I've been on a tour. I just didn't know that I had been on a tour with cancer.
Yeah.
So that's the first mindset. I am a survivor, for those of you out there. Woo-hoo-hoo. 13 years. And the last 3 with COVID, that you add 50 million to that, because if you can survive COVID by any means necessary, pardon my expression, you're a pretty badass. So that's part of why I feel empowered. So that's a journey that I've been able to be a person who is a cancer survivor, and most recently realizing that my body is really kind of succumbing to the virus, but not my spirit, but not my funny, but not my zest for life, but not my chapter. So it's the most surreal experience in my life when the social stigma, as well as the reality of the heaviness, prevails. So I am an individual who, by God's grace, has been able to see this as one of the most beautiful experiences. So hear me out. I don't have a date or a time, Linda, just like you don't have it. So that's why I say on deck. We're all on deck. Hello, surprise. It's just that I have more of a hurriedness, a passion, as I've been sharing with my grown daughters. There's more of a perspective. So when you talk about the beauty and the caring aspect, so that's what I celebrate. I celebrate it the same way that I celebrated my divorce. And me and my ex got a book and we drove to the courthouse together, and then we went out to Red Lobster for lunch. Everything that happens does not have to be put in a box. So, and I'm from the old school. You can't put baby in a corner and put an intravenous thing in me too. No, leave me alone. So that's where I'm at right now. So it's really been a like I said, since I've already been on tour, I might as well call it as such and embrace it as such. And not because I have to, because that's the most positive thing to do, because that's what I feel. That's what I totally feel. So until I, take a last breath, like someone with a kidney failure, and thank God I'm not hooked up to anything. I am at my healthiest. I have my own medical prescription, and I'll share with you later, but it defies maybe some traditional. Everybody should do what they want, but I'm here to speak for those that don't have a voice and don't have a perspective and may feel like, you know what, I feel kind of good to be finally retired. I feel kind of good that my grown kids are listening. I feel kind of good that my ex-husband is straightening up. Do you understand? You don't get a chance to see these things. Why the hell wouldn't I be excited, Linda? Why?
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, you should be doing motivational speaking and TED Talks.
I'm going, and that's something I've always wanted to do, but you got to work a real job and raise kids. So now I get a chance to do all the things I wanted to do. That's why I met with you today. I said, one of the things I wanted to do was be on Comic Spot, but we kept putting it off. I was like, you know what? I have a license to do all of these things with my health. Yeah, baby, it's on.
Yes.
So well, yes.
Tell everybody what city you're in right now.
I'm in Palm Beach, Florida.
Wow.
My home away from home. I'm a Jersey girl, been out here 20 years, and I'm getting ready to go back up north because obviously I want to be close to my family. Obviously, I want to take this tour to Jersey and New York. There's so many things I haven't done that I feel like, wow, eyes wide open. So yeah, it's getting ready to get good.
So you were born in Jersey. What part?
I grew up in Woodbridge Township, a little old town, Avenel. We didn't have much going on, but we had a sense of community. It was pretty cool. And then I graduated as a social worker from Rutgers University in New Brunswick.
Rutgers?
And yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's incredibly wonderful.
So I really was a full-fledged adult at some point, not just a comedian. That's the one thing that folks feel like, really? But yeah, and had the blessing of coming out here in 2008 full-time, and didn't want to launch my comedy career until I came out here, because you know what, Linda, I didn't want to fail. I was a musician, a vocalist. I didn't want to get up there and people are like, where's your singing? Go back to songs. So yeah, it's been met with a lot of a good network of comedians out here in Florida, from Orlando to Miami to the West Coast. So it's awesome.
Wow. Well, okay, so let's go into your childhood for a minute. How many brothers and sisters? How was your childhood?
3 older brothers. I'm the youngest and only girl. Dad was warden of Rawway Prison when he was alive. I lived across from the prison during college days. What an experience. Mom was a professional nurse and then worked for the state of New Jersey. Pretty picket fence, suburban Black family, kind of Cosby minus the doctor. So I have to say that when my kids look at what I made back then, first job at like working scooping ice cream, and they're like, Mom, minimum age was $3 and something. I'm like, yeah, I guess it was, you know. So, but pretty suburban upbringing, middle class family, you know, just trying to do the best for their kids.
Got it. Now, you started out singing. So as a child, were you funny?
They didn't consider it funny back then, Linda.
You're preaching to the choir, girl. I know.
Appreciate it. They didn't start appreciating my humor until I got to high school and I got in the book, class clown. You know, when you get that little thing. But yeah, I had full blown developed my sense of humor on the DL, because I was smart. I was, you know, I could attend the academics, get somebody off rolling and go back to work. And it was like, I don't know what's wrong with this person. So yeah, I honed in those crafts. I didn't want to get in trouble, but I loved a good prank.
That's amazing. So like when you were honing your skills privately, did you let any little funny material out where people came along and said, God, you're so funny?
Yes. As I told you, I grew up in suburbia, which I will be more specific, predominantly white suburbia. I've been the first of many things, usually color and then gender. That's what makes me awesome. So I remember something going on in school, and it felt a little kind of like being excluded because of my race. So at the time, I made a point of saying to a teacher that I thought was very cool, Miss Sarah Shimlewski, very cool teacher, still kept in touch with her. I said, you know, such and such is not fair, and I don't think they're giving me the right shake because I'm short. And she caught what I was saying and the way that I was able to use another, you know, adversity, which was I've been 5'2" since maybe I don't know, junior high. And it was a way to deflect, and it was a way to take something very serious and painful, but to make it palatable, but to make my point heard. And I think that's one of the biggest things that has developed me as a comedian and my type of comedy that I do.
Yes, that's wonderful. I can so identify with that, Patrice. 1 second. Let me see. Yes, Mark, I just want to let you know, Mark Andrew Chacon wants to interview you.
Awesome. That'd be great, Mark.
Super. And let's see, Peter Damon is watching, and I don't know if you know him. He's one of my friends.
Nice to meet you, Peter.
Yeah, so back to you. I got to keep up with them so they want to stay engaged.
No, I like that. That's what keeps the room. That's what keeps it real.
Yeah. Okay, so this teacher got a hold of what you were trying to say, and did she encourage you to go into to find your comedy voice or to do public anything?
No. Never got encouraged. Never. You know, you gotta remember, I'm going to be 61 in August, which means back then they didn't encourage the arts. They didn't encourage comedy. They didn't encourage, you know what I mean? Unless you were at a piano, you know what I'm talking about, Linda? There was, come on, and in my time, it was women going to college, which was great. But it's like, hey, cut that out. And after going to college, it was women finding husbands. So what is this encouraged thing you talk of? I encourage my girls, the next generation.
I'm 10 years older, so I get it.
Right. So no, it had to be, it was developed over time. I wish someone had, because I probably would have jumped on it earlier, but it just became a part of who I was.
Okay.
Funny person. So
you started out by performing, singing music. Tell me about that career.
I jazz, blues, and R&B. Always had a passion for it. Still do. Still write. Don't play. Miss the whole band thing. So that's another thing that I will go back to. So that was my passion. Entertainment, but mostly as a vocalist, writing. I produced a few songs that I wrote, became an ASCAP member. So maybe I'll blow some dust off some things. That's still a part of me, but I had to put that over to the side to develop the other passion, which was the culmination of my spirit, my comedy, my ability to make people look at things in a way that is a little bit more pleasant and palatable, may not change it. And in turn, that helped me.
Yes. What would you say is your favorite topic to turn people's heads and minds around with?
As far as, give me an idea. I'm kind of hard to know where you're at.
When you're developing your comedy and you use your comedy to open up minds, what's your favorite topic to do that with? Mine is the Holocaust, because my parents went through it.
Mine is really experiences, whether it's something that's just going on that we as a country are feeling, and it hasn't been trounced upon. I like newness. I like something that just comes up. I mean, I remember talking about monkeypox before it became general knowledge. And I jumped up there and said, you better get away from me, you got monkeypox. And they didn't know. I like enlightening through my humor. I like the ride home where I said something and you're thinking, well, maybe I won't go swimming because she did that bit. I'm going to think about that differently. I like that. So that's what the beauty is. It's an open easel. And when I finally got to the point of my comedy just being a reflection of, I just want to spend some time with you. I don't perform necessarily make people laugh. I invite people into my humor. If you like it, great. I'm going to take you along. I'm not going to stand there and just keep spouting off things. But it's the connectiveness I have with the audience, the place, the atmosphere, what's going on. I never know what I'm going to do. And I like that until I actually get on stage. We have our stuff, but that's just there. That's just your stuff. I want the realness of how does it shape up? So that's the best way I can answer it. It's a very empowering feeling.
Well, I know other comedians that have that same outlook when they go on stage. So I'm going to pull the feel, felt, found with you. I feel like what you're saying is that you can go on stage and kind of feel what will work out of your toolkit. And I know other comedians who have felt that way. And what I have found is when I'm watching, I never can figure out what you're doing. It amazes me.
Yeah, it's so much easier. And I think it's because, I've been doing comedy since 2008 now. And it amazes me how you can get to a point where you train yourself to bring in your comedy as you're living it. And then you train yourself the best way you need to receive it. I'll write down a general, idea, but I won't flesh it out because I want to keep it germane to whatever's going on. So in my mind, I just alphabetize. I give a couple topics that I want to talk about, keep it simple. And then from there, it frees me up to just do whatever comes. And there's always the other topics that come up. And then there's the audience that does something. And then you're out of time. So when you can just take some time and enjoy and don't have a preset, and then I got to go here. And then at 6 minutes, I got to go there. It's like, that's why I'm doing comedy. I'm retired. Didn't I tell you, Linda? I'm just going out professionally speaking, prepared, knowing the demographics of the audience, where's this place, yada, yada. But I'm ready to I'm having more fun on stage, or as much fun as my audience. That's when you know that you're hitting a home run. You follow me? When you can walk away with, a sense of, that was a good show. That was a good crowd. That was an audience that received it. You're also going to have crowds where it's like, hey, this wasn't it. I'm not going to feel bad because I did my best, just like a day's work. Hey, some days you get the bear, my dad used to say, and sometimes the bear gets you.
So how you started in 2008. What made you go on stage? You just had this overwhelming passion that grew?
I respect anything that I'm going to do. And even though I've had a passion and everything I've done from MC into music involves some level of comedy, you're stalling for time, you're doing this, whatever. And I said, I need to learn the craft. I need to not just, So I started from the bottom, as they say, did the old improv, didn't do the classes. Once I got on stage, felt the magic and I said, I could work this out myself. And because I'm not from Florida, I didn't have the network. I didn't have 10 people to bring to a show. And if I brought 10 people to a show, you better believe they want to see more than 5 minutes. Because I'm older. These people are not spending $100 to see me for 5 minutes. It's kind of like, so there were certain choices that were made for me. And I love it.
Yes. Let me just make sure that Summer Sinclair is watching. Say hi to her.
Hey, Summer, how are you today?
She's a co-partner with the podcast that Mark Chacon does. Mark
Nice. Andrews. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you guys. This is a whole new world. I'll peer, but I'm kind of computer challenged, shall we say. And I'm done trying to figure it out. Now it's like, hey, you guys want to hit this button?
I would like to give my computer the boot.
Who are you telling?
I'm telling you.
The computer, at least, Linda, is better than these computerized humans in all these institutions. Because between the age gap, I don't know about you, and this computerized thing, do you know you used to be able to get an agent just by acting a fool and yelling, agent, 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 and now the heifer waits you out? And the same convoy says, I'll need your identification number. I'm like, let me go get it, because this is...
Oh my gosh, I signed up online. I signed up online with some acting thing, and just like trying to learn it that way. Yeah.
Not the same, right?
Not the same. The touchy.
I need people.
Stuff. Yes. Even when I call T-Mobile, I don't want to know next time I can handle it online. I called you this time. Don't tell me what I did wrong and what I can do next. Just deal with me.
Well, see, you're lucky. They charge you now to speak to a human. So that's the first thing I say when a human gets on the phone. I say, I'm not paying you $10 because the robot didn't get it right. I tried to reroute it. You can put me back on the router, but fix the robot because I'm not paying you $10. Oh, okay, Mom, we'll credit you. You damn right you will. You need to stop. And why do I have to pay $10 in this customer service? This is just real life stuff that I'm like, enough.
Yes, I am so with you. So you got on stage your very first time. Let's be real. So there are two groups of people. Some people get on stage because of a gamble. Somebody says, I bet you can't get on stage, or they had enough drinks and they win a contest and they just go on to Netflix. And then there's others that get on stage and get hooked on it, but they don't really kill for a while. Where were you in that mix of first getting on stage?
I got on stage and had the first show I did, it was very well received to the point where I was like, I got this. I figured every other time I got on stage, it was going to be well received. And then when I got on more stages and realized, hey, I don't got it. I don't got this. So I had enough positive feedback that I didn't bomb, enough cockiness that I got a chance to say, there's no need to be cocky here. And enough humility that made me say, you need to keep going down the path to learn what's involved. I felt it was an experiential thing. It was a process. So I was nothing rejected. I didn't feel rejected. It was a comfortable spot, I would have to say. It's very encouraging.
That's amazing. I love that story. So what is something that you did when you first started your comedy that you look back and just shudder? Like you wished you wouldn't have done this or that. We all have those little things.
Is it just me? Because you went robot on me, and I just told you I had issues with robots, and now you're like, it's with the prophet agents. I heard every other word, and I'm the only one moving in my screen. So,
and I'm the only one. I'm the only one moving in my screen. There.
We've been glitched out. See what happened?
I don't know what's happening. Let's see. The video went away. Can you hit your video button? I just don't understand what's going on.
I can see you and hear you now. You okay?
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, the video is on a delay, but we can still do it because of the audio. So your picture is sideways. Your picture's sideways.
Okay, fine. There we go. That's good now? Still, I changed the camera around. Let's see.
This is crazy. There we go.
How's that?
Perfect.
Still sideways?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, maybe they're drilling outside on the street, so don't be surprised if we have technical problems. Hi again.
What's happening, Linda? How are you today?
Good.
Am I sideways again? It keeps pulling us out. See what happens when you talk about the Matrix? I tell you.
Let's not talk about it no more.
All right, let's move on.
Everybody has a story when you were brand new in comedy, something that is now embarrassing that you did. Like me, I used to write to famous people and tell them some jokes. And now I'm like, why did I do that? What's kind of silly stuff did you do when you were new?
When I was new, God rest his soul. Remember the comedian Patrice ONeil?
Yes, I thought of him when I saw your name.
I was in New Brunswick at the Stress Factory, and I had come back from Florida on a visit, and he was performing probably right before he had passed away. And I said, Patrice ONeil? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'm Patrice too. And he looked at me like, and? And I actually felt like there was some kinship because Patrice is not a regular name. But I actually felt like, hey, he's a comedian, he's Patrice, I'm a comedian, I'm Patrice. We're a duo. I mean, like, it's done. I mean, this was meant to happen. And it was met with afterwards when I sat down at the table, I was like, boy, was that stupid. That was just like, it's just like, and I felt like that was like the dumbest thing you could say to somebody. It's kind of like, you could have said anything. Like, hey, I'm a new comedian, or I was kind of like, Patrice, like it really meant something. So yeah, I wish I hadn't come off as a real idiot.
So funny. Yeah, he's quite the legend.
Heck yeah. Very funny, man. Very funny.
Well, in your comedy career, you've been focusing mostly in Florida. Am I correct?
That's correct.
That's kind of like your home base. So what comedians do you want to give a shout out to that have helped you, or what have you been doing to give back to the comedy world? Those two things, if you could touch on that.
Yes, had quite a few comedians, as we all have, just in people in general, that have moved on, transitioned, and I'll give a shout out to collectively all of the South Florida comedians, because we've been like a family. The strangest thing, like cutthroat, cheat, stab in the back, don't pay you your money, mess up your room, stuff like that, like real good family stuff. But we're all people, and we're all prone to just mess things up, as we all are, but comedians are more real with it. So through that and through getting to know everyone, I'll just say that. But specifically, I watched comedians that just really, Eric Myers, he's passed away. This guy was fantastic. He was one of the ones that I looked in awe at. I mean, I looked at him in the audience like, oh my God, if I could only do that and this and that. And quite a few comedians. Leon Art was considered the oldest comedian going back in our little network. He ended up passing away recently at like 84 or 86. I remember that because I ended up sending a message after checking with him, and I was like, Leon says he's not 86. He is 86. He's still here. So, and last I will say, another good friend and comedian of mine that just passed away, Wayne Felber, and I say that because they've made me realize how precious life is. And Wayne and his wife Sharon, we all got a chance to sleep together. That's what I said. Because as comedians, you got to do what you got to do. The 2-room thing wasn't available. We had 1 room, double bed. The next morning, we went down to the little breakfast. Me and Wayne were just chatting like, did you sleep well? Yeah. Well, you talk about now, not only the interracial thing, but the openness of it, that they were like, this Black woman, this white guy, they're talking about it with my kids eating Cheerios and waffles. And I'm like, well, how did Sharon sleep? Was Sharon okay? And when I picked up that they didn't know what we were going on, but they had their preconceived notion. So I will say that I've had some very fun experiences and learned a lot from each of those comedians as we all watched each other grow and develop. Absolutely. So collectively, I've learned, and I'm giving back. I've done a lot with workshops for comedians, and I always extend myself if I see a comedian. If something is good, I'll continue, and I make sure comedians get paid. When I do open mics, I have where comedians are able to put in their Cash App and whatnot and earn their money. So I like doing things that are going to help people push to the next level rather than you don't have to wait to headline. If you can rock this crowd throughout your Cash App, you can headline tonight. So I know I've been instrumental with some other comedians because other comedians were instrumental with me.
Wow.
Give back.
I love it. Thank you for doing that. This comedy, the whole comedy scene needs more people like you doing that.
Well, I appreciate that. And there's quite a few people that are out there doing it. And I think that we all sometimes need to come out of the shadows. I'm private, believe me, as much as I'm on stage with entertainment in my real life, I'll never be shy, but I don't live a life of social media and this, and I'm eating a sandwich and this and that. And I'm like, hey, either I'm going to eat the food or I'm going to take a picture. And that is my next venue with food. So that I have some big things that are on the trajectory. So I'm excited.
Let's talk about your upcoming venues, that your tour, your life, how it's turned, and yet you're not letting it beat you down. Can you go into that?
Well, I think when we know that there are things in our body, in our vessel, that whether it's losing a limb or having surgery, we make certain choices about our vessel. Usually they're very cut and dry, but what's not cut and dry is the emotion we put behind whatever certain choices are, whatever certain diseases are, whatever genetic traits we have. That's why some women, if they have a family history of cancer or breast cancer, they go have a mastectomy. And for them, it might be what they needed to do. But I found that nothing has changed for me because I've been on a path of ready for my time. So again, I go back to on deck because we're all on deck. Only thing it did for me is just say, you're off. You're off. You can do you, especially I know that people can relate as a mother, as a wife, as an ex-wife, as a professional, as a this, as a that, as a provider, as a this, a homeowner, blah, 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 blah. We have so many titles that make us, but the one title that we never get to own and have and kind of wallow in it is who we are as a person. Well, guess what? Because of the timing because of my girls being college educated and beautiful people, I get to take them on a ride with me, and we have meetings every Sunday, and they're able to take over certain things and see how it's you don't get a chance to see certain things. And I want that emotional one-way stigma to be enlightened by, hey, here's another piece of things. I'm a lefty. Nothing in my life has been right in terms of what the norm is. So why should I stop now? It's just a natural process. So I just have more of an urgency to do some of the things that maybe I wouldn't have taken a risk on. Put it that way.
I love that. So what do you have planned with your new trajectory? Tell us some of the things you have planned, Patrice.
Okay, I have to be somewhat protective because I do have some legal protections for the name and copyrights of things, because I do believe it's kind of like something that, put it that way, something that I need to protect myself with. But I will say that it's a culmination of the things that I've done as an entertainer. It's my passion with food. Getting products on the market like my bacon bourbon pecan sweet potato pie, just doing expressions and just doing me. And I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to be doing Clubhouse. There'll be a couple venues there, my own room, and a couple other people that I've kind of let them know what I'm doing. I have offered their rooms. I have 12 episodes of a show all set to go. And I'll be recording that and doing some live studio audiences. I have live venues set up for New Jersey and New York.
When will you be in New York? When will you be in New York, Patrice?
I have a show in Vero Beach at the Grape and Grind on August 3rd. It's a Wednesday night, right off the ocean. Awesome place. They've asked me to come back and headline. I am continuing north at that point, Linda, continuing back. So I'll be back probably the second week, because I'm not rushing. Second week in August, and then I'll be there throughout the holiday season.
I'll be there at the same time.
Woo, woo, woo. We'll have some fun. So yeah, I can't wait. It's all, I've performed a few times when I've been back home, but never have touched the stage as a comedian in New York. So I'm looking forward to the newness of no one knows me other than a select bunch of people. None of the clubs, never been. It's all virgin territory. I'm a virgin at 60 again. I'm like, I love it. So yeah, we got to definitely get together. I've got some friends at the New York Comedy, the Broadway Comedy Club.
I'll be there.
Anthony is running that. Yeah, good.
I will be there. I got some people
that asked me to come. Oh, cool.
I'm going to be there. Like, I don't care, washing dishes and barking outside. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I got to get in the loop. So I'm just looking to just slather myself back into I miss New York, New Jersey, the culture, the feel. So I'm looking forward to it.
Super. So then after you go to New York and you're done with your new tour, you're still on a trajectory of your health with your newer diagnosis, and Correct. You're not giving up. You're not letting yourself get beat up by your diagnosis. Correct. And you're probably going to help a lot of people because you're such a strong role model for how to get through it.
Well, thank you. And I think for me, the impetus of putting the cancer out there was because when I was given the news of the level of the state that my body was going through with this particular disease, it was met with a very uncaring, almost abusive dialogue, because 13 years I've been eating organically, living my life, smoking my medical marijuana, drinking my medical Stella Artois, smoking my cigarettes, living my best life, doing comedy. I've never, as I said, been a cancer patient. I've been a person who had cancer, so I never subscribed to the whole concentration of it. And unfortunately, that medical professional saw me as seeking her out to make me whole, to make me better, to give me hope. And I had to call her on that during the session and say, I will not explain my choices in care. And so my advocacy comes in with, I wonder how many other people that weren't vocal or that because of the enormity of the situation, allow themselves on top of that to be in a position of vulnerability to make certain decisions or to let someone say, and here's the words, well, maybe if you had taken the hormone replacement treatments, that would have given you 10 years. And I'm thinking, I've got 13 years. What is and I say this, and I am putting it out there, and I'm not going to be immature because the point is, there are some people, some professionals that are not professional that add to pain, and that has a ripple effect. And had it not have been for my mindset and me knowing that me and the good Lord have taken me through. And as a matter of fact, I'm like, what? I got 13 years. I'm doing high five. 13? What? Because it doesn't change it. But there are people that do need to be empowered to allow themselves to feel good about how they choose. I choose not to do PET scan and get lit up. I choose not to have nicks and cuts and stuff. For me, that's not the way. I choose to continue living my life, having my sense of humor, having my spirituality, having my peace of mind, and kicking ass until I take my last breath, because we are all on deck. What you doing with yours? That's just the difference. Watch what I'm doing with mine. And so that needs to be as contagious for survivors, because we often are beaten down and trying to bring it up. Sometimes we need to just recognize I have a right to feel good. I have a right to not have other people make me feel beholding emotionally. So wherever that means to anybody else, that's what I wanted to put out there.
That means so much to me. You have no idea.
I'm glad.
There you go. And I'm sure other people that are listening, maybe they're not up against a battle with cancer or their health, but maybe they're up against a different battle.
Exactly.
With somebody accepting them or bullying them. We don't know, but
right.
It's the same principle you can apply.
Exactly. And no one wants to feel at their weakest, most vulnerable, sickest time in their life that somebody with a clipboard is having dominion over you in the most uncaring manner and making you feel. And I confront her. I said, listen, I'm getting the sense that you're annoyed with me because I've chosen my path and I'm not going to put up with that. Do you know 13 years ago, I would have never said that? But
I believe it.
13 years forward, because who kept me alive? My choices, my spirituality, my comedy. So when it's time, it's time. But in the meantime, it's a feeling of, you know what? We have to start helping people help themselves. And most of the time, through communication and sharing, that can be achieved, because there's a lot of people, and that's why comedy is so important, because it disarms people. They can feel comfortable, okay? And that's what my idea of comedy is. You're supposed to be entertained when you see me. I'm going to hit on some real things. I might even involve you in the comedy routine, but it's always going to be uplifting. I never want you to walk away from the show feeling like you were picked on or what have you. So that's my philosophy. We're all going to sit in a room together and have some fun and learn about each other, because I'm going to learn about you while you're learning about me. It's not a one-way street.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm enjoying the chapter. I couldn't have picked it. I wouldn't have written it. But now that I'm at it, hey, let's go.
What advice do you have for brand new comedians?
I would say the best advice is to recognize, probably, that for me, that it is a process, and it depends on what you want out of comedy. Some people want to be famous. Some people want to join into a group. So yeah, I would say to figure out why you want to do it. And then, as my dad would say, plan your work and work your plan.
Good. It's real good.
Get around as many people as you can get around, so that you can get a real sense of legitimacy about the feedback. And be careful, protect your material. I'm sorry. And protect your material. Be careful about all these writing workshops that somebody further out in their career says, nah, that's a piece of junk. And then next week they're on there. So protect yourself. Don't be a babe in the woods with, hey, you know, kind of learn without needing so much and recognize that it is a process.
I love that. Well, you just asked that you answered a question I was going to ask. I don't need to now even ask it. You're so on top of this interview. It's not even funny. So what do you want to say? What do you want to say about the state of comedy, the whole everybody getting upset, the state of the world, the state of any, not really political, just your how you feel about where things are at right now?
Well, I would say that comedy is no different than anything else that has been ripped apart, shredded apart, smashed on, shot up, damaged, politicized, whatever you can name it. We're kind of, not just Americans, but the whole world is kind of like, we all need a timeout. You remember Nanny 911? You know, it's kind of like, you know, like freeze everybody or something, because it's just a lot of atrocious things going on. And I think what's happened is because of the extent of the atrocity and extent of just real serious things. When it comes to comedy, it's going to be tested like anything else, just like doctors were tested, just like politicians and judges. So for me, I would say it really requires people to do comedy in a way that I interpret it. You have to read the comedy, just like you read a room. And you have to hone in on what is it about your comedy that makes you special, and what is it that you're delivering? Are you delivering a bunch of things that make people feel angry? It has made me make sure that if I'm, you know, somewhere or doing something, just in general, to have protection in case someone, you know, has that, you know, that ire for just, you know, us as a profession. But I don't plan on pissing anybody off. But if somebody's, I'll tell you what, when Dave Chappelle was on stage and his crew rushed the guy in the mind, Brad Lyra, Brad, me personally, I can't have a crew like that. I'm not supposed to be touched. You know what I'm saying? You're late. See, so I don't need to be pissing people off, because if you're coming towards the stage, this is why I don't own a gun. I know how to protect myself. But if I'm done, it's like, sorry. So I would have to say that it makes you bring out the best version of who you can be. It tests some people.
The internet is very weird right this minute. I don't understand. Oh, I'm sure she'll come right back. She has the code to get back in. Here she comes. Hi.
Okay. Hey, what's happening?
I don't understand.
Now, Linda, let me tell you something. No, I do understand it. Welcome everybody to, I am one of those people that if people shake their head and say, this never happened, I'm like, I know. I tell you, every time I'm involved with something mechanical, electronical, the spirits know. They don't want this good stuff getting out.
That's
you understand? So I don't remember what I was saying, but I think we got the gist of it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So the thing is that you're a gem in sometimes a dark community. You're a bright light. You're an encourager. You're out there doing good. So what made you in your life early on, go back as far as you want, what made you give a rip about other people to this degree?
Let's see. That's just how we're built. It really is. to some degree, you know, how you're built. Doing social work, I still do social work, even though I've been retired. Someone will come from miles away and walk down my street and right in front of me. And it's a spiritual thing too. It's natural. It's natural. That's why I do the other things that need to be worked and honed, relating to people, having insight, having certain wisdoms. I don't know where it comes from. That's why I told you in the caption. If I knew what I am experiencing, I might have ordered it. It's just being true to who you are. I've had the benefit of always being true to myself, even though I haven't had a chance to put time in myself. So now the trueness on a continuum with now the time, that comes about with an excitement of, hey, I can do this full time. Hey, I don't have to work full time. Hey, this and that. Hey, this, you know. And again, I go back to having my health. I know what they say, but does it sound like I'm not healthy? That's why, how could I not just do what I've been doing? It's kind of like, that's good to know. Thank you. Now, if you had some good news, I might listen. If you had something that could change or top what I'm doing, I might follow it. But you don't. So leave me alone. You might want to come to the comedy show.
I am so on board with everything you are saying. You have no idea. This is not about me, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say before we get to where you're going to be performing and what your social media is? What would you like to say to people in closing before we do the closing?
I would like to say that it's real important for me, because I'm not a public person other than on a specific platform, that I really am very surprised at what I'm able to experience. And it's hard to put it in there. I'm just living each day to the fullest. And we say that a lot, but to actually be able to do it and to feel that you've earned it to do it, and to have people complimenting that, and to have systems and things you've worked for complement that, it's a really good feeling. So all I can say is that I'm just enjoying reaping what I've sown, and mostly through the connections with people and what I've put into my 3 daughters. Boy, talk about a blessing. It's kind of like that old adage of smelling your flowers. It's like, wow, you know, just enjoying the relationships develop and evolve, just having them pick my brain on things, just having to share things, just having to keep things normal. Because the more that we all recognize that we're all on deck, the more that we can help each other when we come upon things that are uncomfortable or unpleasant. So I just want us to just keep on keeping on, and looking forward to meeting new people and hitting new stages and getting food out there, and just really just being off. I'm officially retired. That's what it says to me.
Yeah.
Nobody expects me to do squat, Linda. Do you understand? That's the bottom line. They don't expect me to do squat. As a matter of fact, people are like, hey, let me do for you. I'm like, huh? What? I like it. I like it.
So Patrice, tell everybody where to follow you on social media.
You will go off the cliff if you follow me on social media. That's one of the first things. If anybody is a social media guru, that's one of the things I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to, I had all of that stuff. I have to hire someone, but I can tell you the best thing you can do is go on Facebook under Patrice Harris. If anything is going on, I will usually post it. And when my social media on my Instagram account is, I have an Instagram account, go on Facebook. Instagram is under the same name. I will have someone letting you know with a social media blast very soon, but I've learned I stay in my lane. So when things are ready, I'll be able to let folks know. But in the meantime, in August, I'll be in Vero Beach. And there'll be some other things. So go, if anything is going on, please follow me on Facebook, and I'm going to try to get it at least on Instagram.
Super, you wrapped up the show like a pro. Is there anything that you did not get asked or get a chance to say that you want to say, Patrice?
I want to say, Linda, thank you. Thank you. Today was the day. I didn't wake up knowing today was the day, but the timing was such that I said, this is a time where I need to start laying some stuff out. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity. I thank the people that were able to listen, and also the opportunities to continue to just let people get to know who I am other than a comedian. It was awesome.
And there's going to be more people that are going to listen to this throughout the day, and I'll send it off to different groups and some military places. So other
Sounds
people
like
are
a plan.
inspired. It's very inspiring. So I want to send it off.
Well, I am looking at this time to continue any type of motivational speaking, engagements and comedy. You got to get it out. And right now, while I, like I said, my tour is wherever I'm at. That's exactly. The tour. There's no entourage. There's no band. Where's the rest of the tour? This is her. It's been awesome.
I have a goal that I have to see you perform on stage live, and I hope that's at Broadway Comedy Club in August.
I'm looking forward to it as well, Linda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks for giving me a few minutes of just sharing with you. Comedian artist Treece, and I'm out.
You have to make me one promise.
Yes, ma'am. What's that?
When you have an announcement, come back on and plug it.
All right, awesome. I thank you for that as well. I definitely will. God bless.
Thank you, Patrice. Love you.